I want to just record this moment. I'm not sure if I'm going to share this or not, but I struggle with a lot of this stuff. I don't like doing these posts. I don't like trying to figure this stuff out. I don't like the vulnerability that comes with sharing this stuff. I don't like the human side of me or selfish side of me. Doesn't like sharing a video that I bare my soul in and 7 people like it and 300 people see it. That part I've dealt with and gotten over, because that ties to the 2 things that keep me going. And one is when I tell you I know this is my purpose and this is why I'm here, that doesn't do it justice. I have zero doubt that's why I'm here. I have zero doubt that there's people who need to hear what I have to say and look at this thing called addiction in the way that I look at it, and I know that this will save lives. I know that. I also do this because I know this is God's plan for me. I know this is why I'm still here. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's why I do this, but I'm not a huge fan of doing this. And the other reason I do this, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. 2 main reasons I do this, or 2 reasons. I know it's what God wants, and 2, there's not a better feeling in the world when you get a message from somebody and they accredit you a lot more than you actually have credit with. They're just emotional people, but they accredit you for playing a big part in their sobriety. Whether they message you 30 days in or 6 months in or a year in. You know, I got a couple year in message from a lady the other day. That is such an amazing feeling, just because to know you played whatever small little part in taking somebody from that darkness, that just pure hell, to being alive again and feeling good and living. That's if I can get one person out of that place and into this place, and the only way to do that is by doing this shit, then I'll do it. But this isn't easy. This isn't something I like doing, and I'm not sure if I'll post this or not, but I feel like there's people who can relate to that. Just feel like a lot of the people who can relate to that don't actually force themselves to do it. I feel like we all have something that we know we're supposed to do, and we don't really do it because we don't think we're going to like how it feels. I will tell you, when I first started this whole journey, I had a letter written out. I'll have to ask my wife, but I had a letter written out for, I'm going to say 4 months. It was probably longer than that, but I'm going to say 4 months. Actually, it could be quite a bit longer than that. But anyway, I had a letter written for a long time that was kind of the first time in my life that I knew I wrote it, but when it came to me, it just kind of came out. And next thing you know, I have this big long letter that just kind of came out of me, and I'm not quite sure exactly what happened, but that happened. I got it on my computer, got it on my laptop, read it, reread it 1,000,000 times. Knew I needed to share it. Just knew I needed to share it, and fought it. Didn't want to. Was so embarrassed. Didn't want people to know. At this point, there were speculations from a few people at the end because it got really bad, but for the most part, you know, nobody really knew about my addiction or my problem, other than like immediate family and friends and stuff. I hadn't posted anything on any social media in 7 years, 8 years, something like that. So my first post is this long letter called "I'm Not Going to Be Selfish Anymore." I'm sure it's still out there, you can find it, but and then I come out about everything. And the response I got to that was amazing, and from then on I knew it was confirmation of what I needed to do. As embarrassing as it was, just stepping through that to that other side felt so good. Some of the people who came to me and related to me, some of the people who came and told me about somebody in their family who had an issue, like just the lines of communication that opened up was amazing. And it's like that with everything. You know, some of the tougher posts I post, I'll get some private message about, you know, how they needed to see it. Just yesterday, the video I posted about how things get better, and you know, I'm so thankful for where my life is and how I was in such a dark place and all that fun stuff. I had a private message from somebody who, I won't say who they are, but from somebody who was like, "Hey man, I needed to see that today. I have been in such a dark place, and just, you know, I look up to you, I appreciate you, and just you saying that gives me hope that my future can get better, and thank you." And I actually got another message on that post yesterday too, another private message, similar, not as but you know, so if that message helps that one person, then fine. If that's the only person who sees it and it helps them, good, let's do this. I'm in, whatever that looks like. So I'm sharing this or recording this to possibly share it, because I think we all have that thing that we should be doing, and we don't, because we're scared. We don't want to deal with that discomfort. We don't want to deal with that vulnerability. We don't want to deal with all of that. And I'll say this. As I'm getting emotional, it takes a real man to be vulnerable. It takes a real man to deal with your emotions. It takes a real man to not only walk through some of this stuff, but to sit and deal with some of this stuff. You're not tough because you act like you don't have an emotion. You're not tough because you ignore things. You're actually the opposite of tough, literally. That's the easy way. So if you're worried about what people think or how it's going to come across, who gives two shits? Who cares? It'll help who it's supposed to help, and it'll resonate with who it's supposed to resonate with. Just like this message. There might be some people who think this is hokey or gay, or I'm retarded, or sorry, I don't know if you can say, I don't give a shit. Or I'm, whatever the case might be. It doesn't matter. There could be 5,000 people who see it and have that view on it. But if that one person sees it, and it hits where it needs to hit with them, and it helps, and it changes, and it flips that switch, let's do it. I'm in. So I can tell you firsthand that getting uncomfortable is some of the best things I do for myself. Pushing myself is some of the best things I do for myself. You know, I use jiu-jitsu as an example. Before my first jiu-jitsu class, I sat in a parking lot, and I was super emotional while going in. Scared to death. Did not want to do it. One of the best things I've ever done. Sharing my story. Did not want to do it. Horrified of doing it. One of the best things I've ever done. I say this a lot, but I swear there's something to this, and I haven't quite figured it out, but there's something to it. The way God has this world structured is on the other side of discomfort, on the other side of effort, there's a reward. It's not just given to you. There's something that bridges that, where you have to earn that effort, that you have to pay that price. You have to put that effort in. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to be vulnerable. You have to walk through that discomfort. You have to pay that price to get that reward. That's just how this world is. Different types of rewards, right? Me being vulnerable, sharing some of this stuff, I get the reward of my heart being fulfilled because I know that it hit somebody on a personal level and helped their life, impact their life in a positive way. I have people who say they wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for me with some of the addiction stuff and some of the stuff I've helped with. You know, part of the reason I've been posting a lot more lately is my wife has a lady, I can't remember her name, Jackie or something. She follows this lady, and their signs are the opposite of my wife and I, and their story is very similar to ours. And her husband ended up a pill addict and then a heroin addict, and he ended up overdosing and sorry, this is what gets me. He ended up dying from an overdose. And I can't help but think, I know I can't think like this, but I do. If I got to talk to that guy, somebody got to talk to that guy and explain, look, man, you're not broke. You're not broken at all. You don't have a disease. You're not ridden to this the rest of your life. You have a gift. Your brain works different, okay? Right now you're using it in a very bad way. You're using it to kill yourself. But if you do this work and if you come over on this side, you're unstoppable. You can use this for whatever you want to use it for. If you'll just do the work and get to this point, fuck, you're unstoppable, I promise. In my gut, those kind of people hear that kind of message and it changes their recovery. It changes their whole recovery. Not everybody, but there's a group of people that this will be a difference maker for. And I have to get out there. I don't understand this shit. I don't like doing this shit. I don't like sharing this shit. But more than that, I don't like people like that dying. More than that, I don't like people in that place of darkness and misery. So if sharing this kind of stuff and writing this kind of stuff and doing what I've been doing, that's what gets me to that point where I can actually help. Or I can actually help and reach people, then so be it. That's what we'll do. So I just wanted to take a second and, you know, I don't mean this in a cocky way, but I know there's a lot of people who think that I have shit figured out and I'm just constantly on the ball and this kind of hard, tough guy. Not at all. It's kind of funny that people think that, but I don't have everything figured out. I still struggle. I've just learned through fighting my addiction that if there's something I don't want to do, I need to lean into doing it because there's a reason I don't want to do it and there's a reward for doing that. That for whatever reason, by nature, I want to take the easy way out of everything in life. That's just who I am. I think there's a lot of people like that. And when you're aware of that, and you know that, you can own that, you can change that. And that's what I try to do. So figured I would share this. Maybe somebody needs to hear this. If you made it to the end of this, thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm done doing videos for a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of work today and then try to enjoy some time with my wife this weekend. We've been through hell and back over the last several years, and lately trying to figure this whole thing out, so I'm not going to be on here at all. So if there's something you're supposed to do it, damn it. Do it. I promise you'll be glad you did. I promise you. Again, I love you guys. Have a good weekend. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.